thing is we are part and parcel of Krishna, and we live eternally with him. So that is always there because the Lord is seated in the heart. That's why it's called the topmost of all secrets. So now we are going to discuss just not that, because Krishna is actually traversing Arjuna through every step where he can actually understand. We can practically understand that if we put ourselves in the shoe of Arjuna, we will actually know how Krishna is trying to take him out of the mode of ignorance and passion and to bring him to the mode of goodness and then putting him back in passion, right? Because we all work, we have to work. There is no other way, because Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that as a soul, you have to be all the time active. There is no way at any given point of time that you are not active. Every moment of time, you need to do something, whether you're doing it for your food, whether you're doing for your well-being or for the society or anything, we need to do something. So Krishna is trying to give that information. Because you are in the mode of goodness, you cannot actually act very strong and actively, because the mode of goodness is so pure in itself that it will make you only connect with Krishna and you don't want to do anything else. But here Arjuna need passion, but he is in the mode of ignorance. So what he wants to do is he wants him to come to the mode of passion, to the mode of goodness, and then bring him back to passion, so that he can start working on a very, very fast pace to the pleasure of the Lord and making sure that the war is won. So now we have to understand there are many aspects to this Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, if you go to say W.H. Smith or Hagen Bottoms or Waterstones or any other place, I'm not sure in this country, but at least in India, I know that many, many varieties and varieties of translations you get it. People do give their own thoughts and processes based on whatever they think that that's what Bhagavad Gita is supposed to be. But unfortunately, that is not what Srila Prabhupada wanted. Srila Prabhupada wanted a complete detail, a straightforward as it is presentation coming from the Guru Sishya Parampara. Now, we are actually going to touch upon another important subject matter, which is called opulence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? Krishna also has the opulence, and that's why it's called Purna Bhagavan. Means we have spoken previously about what constitutes to be called as Bhagavan, the six important features of the Lord who has it in complete. That makes him to be called Bhagavan, and no one else can take that position. Now we are going to touch upon each of the very, very important subject matter of what he is comparing himself with and what are the different beautiful aspects that the Lord continues to hold, and he actually uses his strings to tackle across the entire cosmos. How he manages the shows by just showing off his opulence. What we are actually probably seeing a little bit of this world, the glitters of this world, is only a figment. The Lord has in, we can't even contemplate. There is Lord's personal expansion. The immediate expansion is Lord Balaram. So Lord Balaram actually, in his form as Ananta Sesh, the serpent head, uh, he's got more than around 10,000 heads, and he is the one who's holding the entire cosmos in his head. He's trying to speak from each of his mouth, but he is not going nowhere near the start at all. The Lord's glories are so much that he is only starting, not even started. So it's going on and on and on. So it will go for eternity. That's so dynamic. This Krishna conscious process is not a static subject. It's a very dynamic subject. How much our reciprocation, how much our contemplations of how you can spend your time to understand the Supreme Lord, how to do the services to the Lord, to the devotees of the Lord, as much you actually get connected with the Supreme Lord. And the pastimes are eternity. Okay, now I'm going to share the screen with you all, and then we will take it from there. Right. Please tell me if you are not able to see the screen. Otherwise, we are good.
Can see, Prabhu.
I said, okay. I said the other way around. Okay. So now we are in the essence of Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is. This is chapter 10 we are going to discuss today. And please take a moment's time to just fall at the lotus feet of Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra, Giriraj Govardhan Sudarshan Bhagwan to take their blessings and seek their wonderful, wonderful, costless smile and mercy on us, that we will be able to understand the divine science, because it's their personal blessings on us. We'll go with the prayers to the spiritual preceptors. Please join me on this. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri
Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Krishna Prasthayatale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Gauravani Pujari Shri
Nirvishesha
Krishna.
Sunyavadi Vasyantadesh Jai Shri
Jai
Krishna
Shri Krishna
Chaitanya
Chaitanya Prabhu
Nityananda
Nityananda
Shri Advaita
Shri Advaita
Gadadhara
Gadadhar
Shivasadi
Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Krishna
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 Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama
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 Hare
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 Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
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 Hare Hare Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama
Hare
Rama
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 Hare
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 Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Krishna
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 Hare
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 Hare Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama Hare
Rama
Rama
Rama Rama Hare Hare Mukam Karati Vachal Mangala Digre Vetratam Munde Shri Gurun Nintam Paramanand Maham Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tat Sat dedicated to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada,
Prabhupada.
founder Acharya, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
Okay, this is a beautiful verse coming from the Vaishnava Tantra Sara. Na shro no shro noti na pateti Gitam Amritam Rupinim Asta Tekta Amritam Praptam Sa Naro Visham Ashnute. One who neither recites nor hears the Gita, which is the embodiment of ambrosia, drops of nectar from his hand in order to drink poison. Fundamentally, it is saying that if you are not touching something which is divine in its nature, you are actually readily eating sin, or rather drinking poison. That is a very beautiful verse, which Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings, one of the greatest acharyas of our times, that he says, Hari Hari Bifale Janama Gona Hoy, Manusha Januma Paya, Radha Krishna Na Bhajiya. Manusha Januma Paya, Radha Krishna Na Bhajiya, Janiya Suniya Vishayi Khainu. It's a Bengali verse which says, Hari Hari Bifale Janama Gona Hoy. Means, my time is going as if I no man's business. It's running. I am not able to say Hari Hari. It is running so fast that I am not able to run behind it, and it's going. This is my timelines. My timelines is running so fast. Manusha Janma Paya. I have somehow by the costless grace of the Supreme Lord or by someone else, I don't even know, but I've got a human birth. Manusha Janma Paya, Radha Krishna Na Bhajiya. I am supposed to worship the highest form of the Supreme Lord is Radha Krishna worship. Now, that is not been enabled to me. I am not worshipping them. Radha Krishna Na Bhajiya. I am not worshipping them. Janiya Suniya. Knowingly or unknowingly, what am I doing? I am eating only sin plus I am eating poison. I am drinking poison. So this is very important for all of us, that the great acharyas are expressing a very important subject matter here. What they are saying is, if we all have 24 hours of time, if we all put that time in our, say, Excel sheet or in some notepad or something, and we start filling our time sheet of how much time we are spending on each of the activities, and closely monitor and see how much Krishna conscious time we have spent. Like, for example, you're going to the office, but provided if you're going to the office, are you spending that time in the pleasure of the Lord? So each and everything we are going to identify it. If you put that as a matrix, and end of the day, if you notice how much time have you honestly spent. If you have spent for Krishna, then thumbs up. If we have not spent, then Janiya Suniya Vishayi Khainu. Knowingly and unknowingly, I am just drinking poison. This is what is going to happen. So this Vaishnava Sara Tantra is also trying to convey and giving us the information that knowingly I am not ready to accept the words of the Bhagavad Gita, which is the nectar, but I am drinking poison. Why? Because I'm not touching it. So saying that it's inspiring us, Gita MAHATMYA is inspiring us to take up studying, reading, reciting, and hearing Srimad Bhagavad Gita every moment, every day. So with that, we will go to the chapter 10, the opulence of the Supreme Lord, the Absolute Truth. If you notice, this chapter is going to be focused on this. That's why the chapter summary is given in the start instead of the end. Whatever you are actually noting is generally the summary of the chapter comes in the last. In this particular subject, it is coming little early for the reason that we are going to touch upon these subject matters. Everything in the material and spiritual world are partial manifestations of the Supreme Lord's divine energies and opulence. Krishna is the supreme cause of all causes, Sarva Karana Karanam, and he is the supreme object of all living entities to worship. So with that, we will touch upon the first shloka. It says, Supreme Personality of Godhead is trying to inform Arjuna, or listen again, mighty and Arjuna, because you are my friend and for your benefit, I shall now speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I had already explained. He has already explained many information. He has given you complete details. After the chapter second is over, there was nothing else needed for the Lord to give, because he has already conveyed the entire Bhagavad Gita in the second chapter. But still, he went on and given him more deeper understanding, deeper details in each of the chapters. Then finally, he delivered the lecture of ninth chapter. He gave that this is Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, Pavitram, Idam Uttamam. It is the ultimate, the secret of all secrets. There is nothing else required. You just focus on just understanding. But still, Krishna is trying to give this more message, saying that be careful. It's not just the only one information I'm going to give. I'm going to give you more information because you're my dear most friend. And this information is much more detailed than what I already explained. So what is he going to explain here? He is going to explain what is the Purna Bhagavan, who can be considered as the Supreme Lord and who is considered the person who holds all the six opulences in complete. And why is he trying to convey this message to us? We will actually touch upon it after this four or five slides. Okay. One who possesses all opulences in full is called Bhagavan. This is actually given as a dictation by Parasara Rishi, who is Vyasadev's father. He said, Aishwaryasya, Samagrasya, Viryasya, Shauryasya, Yashasya, all these things, all the six opulences incomplete, then you can consider him as the personality of God. Now, first opulence of God is wealth. We are seeing this person. He is Reliance chairman, Mukesh Ambani, from the Indian industries. But the fact is, he is the richest Asian, and maybe he is the first Asian or the richest Indian or whatever. But Krishna is the complete owner of the entire wealth in the entire cosmic manifestation, because he is the one who created it. There are a lot of people who get associated, attached with the few celebrities whom they come across, right? Some people are looking for, oh, who is that person whom I can take inspiration from? So then this person is there, Mukesh Ambani. So I get inspiration from him to make wealth. There's a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad kind of thing. So people who wanted to get some kind of inspiration to lead their life, everyone has some kind of goal setting. But if that goal is not what is connected to the Supreme Lord's goal or related to Krishna conscious goal, then that goals are going to be only for your sense enjoyment. So this also gives them a kick, so that I want to become the most wealthiest. I want to become the Bill Gates of the world, or I want to become the Amazon owner's status. Somehow that I need to make a lot of wealth. So they keep going on. So Krishna wants to make sure that that's not what wealth I'm talking about. I'm talking about a wealth which is incomplete in totality, and there is no 1 pound extra or less that he doesn't have. He decides what is the wealth, what he can. In the scriptures, in the Vedic scriptures, money is not considered wealth. Money is not considered wealth. You will be astonished. Oh, what is this? When we say wealth, we think money, gold, bank balance. This is what we call as wealth. No, in the Vedic scriptures, a person who possesses the maximum number of cows, they are called the richest persons. They may not have anything else. They may not have even a big house. But if they have, say, around 10,000 cows or 100,000 cows or say 500,000 cows, then they are considered the most richest. So this is the first opulence of God. The second opulence will come now. This is again rich. What is this? The richness is actually being served at the lotus feet. Srimad Mahalakshmi, the Lord's eternal consort, she is just simply the owner of wealth. There are eight forms of Lakshmi. That's called Ashta Lakshmis. one who is going to give you the wealth, one who is going to give you the food, one who is going to give you the victory, and many others. Like that, there are 8 Lakshmis representing from Srimati Radharani. So Radharani is called the Adi Lakshmi. So from her, Mahalakshmi comes. So now that owner of the entire wealth in the entire cosmos is now nothing else but serving the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. So see the amount of power and opulence which Krishna has. He is just showing off glimpse of that. Even the richest personality whom we can contemplate on, Kuber, he is actually giving the Lord a free sort of not a donation, but he is actually giving some kind of a it's a deal. He has made a deal that he wants to share some wealth. So that is how it is. That's a different pastime as such. We will have a look at it a little later. But opulence means these are the first understanding that the opulence of the Supreme Lord is based on how you can perceive the Lord. See the glory in which he is lying down in the bed of serpent bed, and Mahalakshmi is just touching the Lord's lotus feet and massaging. She is the owner of the wealth. She is the personification of wealth, but still she is not. That is why Prabhupada always says that money is good, but money in the hands of a wrong person is never good. Why? Because money is considered chanchala. It keeps running away from you. But if you start worshipping Narayana, you should actually worship starting only when you have Narayana worship, Lakshmi will stay there. Not that I want only Lakshmi and not Narayana. That won't work. So that is why first opulence here. First opulence is wealth. Second opulence is power, strength. This strength, you can be the most powerful man in the world. Like he is nothing in front of Bhima. If you consider Bhima, then this person is none. He is probably lifting some weightlifting or powerlifting. But imagine Bhima, he had 100,000 elephants power. He had the strength of 100,000 elephants. And by the way, with his strength, he could still not beat Hanuman. Why? Because he could not even shake the Hanuman's tail. So that is the way in which the opulence and strength comes into picture. You can beat one person, but the other person would have beaten some other person. So it goes on like that. So these are the opulences which Krishna is trying to show it to us. Imagine how that strength and this strength. He's probably lifting a weight here. The Lord, nothing else, but he just used a single small finger and he lifted the whole Govardhan hill. Not for 1 day or 1 hour or 1 minute or 1 second. We can't imagine someone lifting the entire mountain. There is still a place actually in Govardhan. There is a place called Penta. If you go to that place, you will actually see that Krishna was actually, then when it was pounding, you all know the Govardhan pastimes, right? Most of you know the Govardhan pastimes. The interesting pastime of Govardhan happened in when Krishna was, what age was Krishna when this happened?
7.
7 years. Very good. So when Krishna did this, he actually was wandering around here and there, and then finally everyone came and running and said, "Oh, Krishna, it's so much bad because of your words. Indra is so angry on us that he's pounding everything and he's just making a mess out of it. The war is against Indra and ourselves now. There is no other choice. And we are all trying to take shelter, but there is no place. The entire Vrindavan village is completely flooded with water and so much of rain, torrential rains. It's like the rain cloud, which is called the Samvartaka clouds, which is coming and pounding us. There is no other choice. We are all doomed." So Krishna says, "Okay, don't worry about it. I'll just be back." Then so he starts running and he runs to some place. But on the way, he meets a few gopis. He says, the gopis ask them, they say, "What are you doing? Where are you running for? You are coward. You are running away. You are not taking any interest in us. We always keep saying, oh, Krishna did this, Krishna did this, Krishna wanted it, so we are doing it. Now we did it on your favor and you are running away." "No, no, no, I am helping you. I am just going to lift the mountain." "Which mountain?" "Govardhan mountain." "Yes, it's because he is the one who is going to give us an umbrella. He's going to give us the shelter." So then the gopi said, "Yo, you must be kidding." "No, no, I'm saying I have the complete energy. I have the power. I've got the complete strength to do it. You want to see my power? He just went to the nearby. There were 2, 3 big trees. So he just crushed all the trees and he twisted it. And if you go to that place called Penta, you will still see the tree completely twisted. And then he ran into one of the caves. There are many caves in Govardhan. He ran into one of the caves and he emerged himself out of this place to here. So this is where he is standing. And this is actually considered the center of Govardhan. Lord. Yeah, so see, imagine that too he is holding one, just as in a small finger he is holding, and then all the coward boys and coward men, they said, okay, Krishna may find it very difficult, let's keep all our sticks on that, as if they are the power, they are the powerhouse of everything. So they just kept the stick, and then Krishna said, okay, you all are keeping the stick, let me relax. He just moved a little bit and all the sticks broke. And then they said, oh, we are going to get doomed. See the amazing formulation. Krishna is saying Balram is there, but Balram has got full strength, but still Balram relies on Krishna's strength. And on top of it, all the gopas, all the gopis, all the cows, all the calves, they are all completely mesmerized by seeing Krishna. Just simply they are drinking the beautiful features of the Lord in the glance. Krishna is also extremely happy to be with all of them. That's the power of strength. Krishna actually is like this. With one stone, he will hit multiple mangoes. For us, we will take one stone and we will not even touch near the mango. It will probably hit someone's head. That's the way we are. So that is the power of the Lord. Then this is fame, right? We have this, the powered first couple, right? He is ex-known. There is no way. He is famed. It's a time is very short. After that, his shelf life is gone. No one is going to come and ask him who is. But Krishna's fame, extraordinary. What is he called? Butter thief. Can anyone be called a thief and become still famous? Only Krishna can become. He ran out of the warfare. He ran away from the warfare. Then what was he called? Ranchor. He is still glorified. Krishna is still being worshipped as Ranchor. He is still worshipped as butter thief. See the beauty here. In spite of having all these things of nataks and dramas and nutcuts, like a very cheeky person who is doing all this, still he is glorified. That's fame. And beauty. We may probably think something is called beauty. We say that there is a statement, right? Beauty is skin deep. We think of one particular actor, actresses saying that they are very beautiful and all that. But Krishna's beauty is immeasurable. He is just simply divine in his nature. Even the other living entities like butterflies, the bees, the beautiful parrots, and everyone gets attracted. Naturally, they get attracted. Why? Because Krishna is all attractive, right? Krishna is all attractive. He absorbs like Akarshanam. He is like a magnet to the iron filings. You just keep the iron filings in any place. If magnet goes nearby or even at a distance, it automatically absorbs the iron filings. Something similar to that. Krishna doesn't have to do any effort. He just have to do one small snippet in his flute. Everyone gets attracted automatically. Krishna had so many calves and so many cows to manage. He's so beautiful and no one wanted to go away. So what he used to do is he used to make sure that all the cows go to a different pasturing grounds. He used to say, okay, now don't see me, go and eat your food. This is your food, you need strength, only then you will give milk. After that I will call you, you all come. So Krishna used to do that and he just used to play a small flute sound. Automatically the particular set of cows, they used to come and they get assembled correctly, categorically, methodically by ascending stuff. So that's Krishna for us in beauty. And here is strength, beauty is going to be done. And then we have knowledge. Krishna's knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. This lady is, one second, this lady is Shakuntala Devi. She is a mathematician by profession. So she could contemplate any numbers and calculate it, and mathematically she could present it. But that's only very limited in its scope. All these are limited people with scope. We think that they are extraordinary, but it's not. Only in our eyes, we are looking at something short-term. But here, Krishna, the Supreme Lord, he is completely knowledgeable. He is extraordinarily brilliant. And he is so powerful. In every single second, you can actually see the entire warfare was contemplated, executed, and designed by the Supreme Lord himself. It's not a easy stuff to have a war. That's why I said every one of you should get a chance to read Mahabharata and see the intricacies by which you can see how Krishna is actually taking the entire Pandavas through a completely uh, very hopeless situation to emerging to be the emperors of the world. This is phenomenal. One time this so happened, there was going to be a war on the next day, as usual, in the 18 days, right? All these days, Bhishma Dev was not actually planning to fight. He was just playing like as if he is playing some small shotguns kind of thing. So he was not focused and all that. Duryodhana came and said, grandfather, I know that you have a very soft corner and you have a uh, you're very happy to be with the Pandavas, but there is no other choice. You are with us and you need to force yourself to fight out with them and then kill all of them. So he gets really wild and observing mentally that he says, whatever I do, you're not going to win the war. So what's the big point in fighting him? But he instigated him very much again and again and again. So then Bhishma Dev became very annoyed, and with all his anger, he said, okay, I'll prepare the death bow for them. This death bow is going to be in terms of 5 arrows. I am going to invest my complete brahmacharya shakti, means strength, power. I'm going to invest on this 5 arrows. I'm going to keep that and making sure that I will use all those arrows to kill all the 5 Pandavas. Are you happy with that? Duryodhana was very chilled out. He was so thrilled. And he, you know what he did? He said, give me the arrows. I don't believe you. Let me keep it and I'll give it to you in the morning when you are ready for the war. See, this is what people of mean mentality, right? We talked about these 4 kind of people who are demons and 4 kind of people who are devotees. These demonic people will not believe in anything. So he took all the 5 arrows and he went and sat in his bedroom. And what he did, he put all the arrows below his pillow, closed it completely, fully covered everything. No one could know anything. So then in the other camp, the Pandavas camp, Arjuna was sitting, Krishna was sitting. They were eating peanuts. There is a different pastime related to the peanuts also. Why Krishna was eating peanuts every day? Do you know that pastime?
No, Prabhu.
There's a very nice pastime, but I will touch upon this after I complete this one because this is important. This is associated pastimes. Everyone likes stories, so this is good. So this particular person was contemplating. Arjuna was thinking, how do I make sure that somehow or the other, if this war has to go to the next level, I need to kill or fight with Bhishma Dev completely full-fledged. There is no other choice. So how do I do that? He was contemplating and he was asking for some kind of advice from Krishna. In the meantime, they were sitting and relaxing and all that. Krishna said to Arjuna, Arjuna, take your chariot, take your horse. He said, don't take the chariot. Take the horse, go to Duryodhana and ask for 5 arrows. He agreed to give a boon and in previous times, and now is the time to execute and get the boon back. So what you need to do is and go and ask this person and say that I need the 5 arrows, right? No one knows about the arrows except for Duryodhana and Bhishma Dev. So immediately Arjuna left and he went to Duryodhana's camp and to Duryodhana. Duryodhana was astonished. It's almost like 12 o'clock in the night. We have just completed the war at around 7 o'clock after the sunset, and automatically, generally, they go to their own camps, relax themselves, they eat something, freshen up themselves, and that's how it goes. It's even though it's a war, but they still have a chance to get rejuvenated and all that. There are a lot of hurt, and then they will be medicated and all that. Here is a person coming at 12 o'clock and just before someone sleeps and says, Duryodhana, I just wanted to have a word with you. Say, yes, please come, welcome, sit down. What can I do for you? Are you saying that you don't want to fight anymore? You want to say sign off? Are you saying walk over? Say, no, that's not what I came for. I just wanted to take the 5 arrows which is there below your bed, below your pillows. Duryodhana was thrown out of his place. No one in the entire cosmos can even contemplate. How can Bhishma Dev send a messenger to Arjuna or to Krishna at the same time when this was happening? You see the trick in which Krishna notes and handles it, because he is Atmaramasa Muniyo. He is in the heart of every living entity. So he said, please give me that 5 arrows. You agree for a boon, right? I want to execute that boon now. Get me that. Duryodhana did not have any other words. He simply went into the pillow, he took the 5 arrows and gave it to him. That was the end of war. First turning point of the war to be towards the Pandavas is this. They never thought. Otherwise, they were sure to be dead the next day. And Bhishma Dev next day came and said, okay, Duryodhana, I'm ready for the war. Let's go and fire up these guys and we'll kill all the 5 of them. So please give me the arrows. They said, which arrows? What? I gave you all the arrows. I put my complete brahmacharya energy into that system. And that's how it works. It's all in mantras. And all the arrows, I have given it to you. So where's the arrows? Give me back. Duryodhana said, Arjuna came and took and went. And he said, well, I don't know. I have done my level's best. I invested on it and I've given it to you. You did not secure it. I knew that Krishna will definitely know about it. And then he is coming. I told you that he is the Supreme Lord. Why don't you simply accept? He is the Lord of the universe. He is Lord of you, Lord of me. He's seated in my heart and he's seated in your heart. Why don't you accept him and fall at for Lord's feet and then get the war done? So, no, you can still work out. You can do fight out. Krishna said, well, this is my opulence. This is how it does. In the meantime, when Arjuna went and gave the 5 arrows to Krishna, Krishna immediately said, kill it off, burn it off. So he did that. Arjuna did that. But still, Krishna was taking mumfali, means peanuts. So Arjuna asked, what is this? I always see that you don't take any other food except that you are eating a few. There is a bowl there, and then you eat only a few peanuts all the day. Is that enough for your food? Or can I order for you some rich ones? This is protein. I do understand. Of course, he wouldn't have said in that manner. So, but still, you are only taking these peanuts. What is the significance of it? So, well, I don't want to tell it to you, but the cook knows better. So then you see, even though there is a war, you need other support staffs, like a customer support. You need a cook, you need someone who can clean the place, clean the equipments, making sure the arrows are sharp, and many other things are also kept in place. So then Krishna did inform, since you are asking me, let me tell you. So there, if you notice, Krishna did not say that, and then he just left and say, okay, you take rest. So when the cook who came there to collect it, the plate, and he saw that Krishna took, say, around out of the 20 or 40 or 50 moonfully, whatever he has kept, he has taken only 5. And then 5 peels were kept on the other outside. So then this person took and went. So then Arjuna asked, what is the significance behind this? So he said, I don't know how many people I can cook for my when you all come after the warfare is. If I cook, let us say I have, say, 1,000 people I need to cook for, right? If all the 1,000 come, you will have food. But if I cook for 1,000 people, but if you come as 800 and 200 gets dead, right? So then 200 people's food will go waste. But you can't be more than 1,000 because you have only 1,000 people. So there is no other way. So I need to know the exact number of people or heads, how much I should cook. Now, Krishna has eaten 5 peanuts. That means out of the total 21 akshonis, 5 akshonis are going to get vanished from the face of earth. So then I will reduce my number and I'll cook only for those people who are a part of our system. See the intricacy in which Krishna works. No one knows. That's why he can hit multi-level of consciously affected elements. In this, some are mind-boggling. We can't even contemplate on this. Arjuna himself did not know this theory. And then at this point of time, he says, you are a better warrior than I am, because the person who is cooking is actually a king. He is a king from a place called Udupi. and it is a place based in the Konkan. It's in the western part of India, and this place even now is famous for cooks, and that's how the entire Indian population. You would have seen some. I don't know if many of you have may not have gone to India, but still there are some very good famous vegetarian Indian restaurants. So these are the people who are owners of it, and they are very good at it. So they come from that same lineage. So like that, Krishna knows what needs to be done at what time and how, and all these intricacies can come only when he is complete Bhagavan. Here we are in that level where we are saying Krishna is completely knowledged. He has the Purna, complete knowledge. That's the fifth opulence of the Supreme Lord. And the next one is renunciation. We think that Mahatma Gandhi was a complete renunciant. Prabhupada actually gave a letter to him. He sent a letter to him. Now that you are talking about Bhagavad Gita and all, it makes some sense to me that you should inspire people to take up spiritual practice and leave out everything. But unfortunately, it's a false renunciation. It's called Markata Vairagya. Right? Markata Vairagya means like a monkey renunciate. We all have this, right? It's very hard and straightforward because Bhagavad Gita speaks about a very important subject matter. I'm just trying to, why is it not loading? Yeah. So the six opulences, we are talking about the renunciant. It is called Markata Vairagya, means we have a monkey renunciant. We feel that it is renunciation, but it is falsely renunciant, right? In the same way, let's say, for example, someone has died, right? And we are supposed to go to the funeral. So we go to the cemetery ground or funeral and all that. Now we also showcase as we like a show bottle, we cry, oh my God, he has left me. I am not going to see him anymore. I can't bear this kind of pain. After some time, your stomach starts growling. What do? Okay, let's go out and have a burger, man. I'm very hungry. This is what we do. Why did you go for? You're supposed to be in the funeral. What is your thought? You're supposed to be only thinking about that person who left your body, right? If he has left the body and your thoughts are there, why are you thinking about food then? That means to say that your renunciation is completely phantasmagoria. It is not truthful renunciation. You are trying to say to the Supreme Lord that I am a renunciant by nature, but you are not. You are showcasing as if you are a great renunciant, but you are not. So this is what Krishna wants to prove it to us. Like here, Mahatma Gandhi was showcasing in the world that he was a great renunciant. He didn't want to, he was a king maker. He was not the king. The other fellow is the king. But now the other fellow was in some kind of a dog's body in some Denmark, right? So then Prabhupada explains this. You can actually search. Prabhupada wrote a detailed letter stating to Mahatma Gandhi that you should relinquish everything and take up Krishna consciousness and prove and inspire people to take up Krishna consciousness. Within 2 weeks after his letter was sent, I don't know whether he read it or not, and within 2 weeks he was shot dead. So this is completely what Krishna wants us to not to be. And what Krishna wants to be here, he wants to be like how he is. He is the king maker, and he is the one who is in the battlefield all the time, right? He did not bother about it. After war was over, everything, he just called Yudhishthira Maharaj and said, okay, Yudhishthira, you are the next emperor. All done, all sorted. I am leaving. And he said, okay, I'm starting now. And then he started taking his chariot. He said he wants to go to Dwaraka. All the Pandavas came and fell at his lotus feet and said that, oh, don't leave us, don't leave us, don't leave us. Please, at least to stay for a few more days. We want to be and taking your association. You've done so much for us. And that is what we wanted you to do. So you can't leave it. He doesn't take anything for himself because he knows that everything belongs to him. What will you give a rich man? When he is already rich, you can't even give anything. Even if you give a photograph, even if you give a card, you will say, okay, I already have all these things. I don't need anything from you. So that is how the complete Purna Bhagavan is. Complete renunciation based on the richness. Krishna proves himself as the complete God. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Etesham cha kalapamsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So Krishna is showing the universal form to Arjuna, which is a material form. But he is showing to Arjuna, he could not handle this kind of a universal form, Virata Rupa, where everyone is just jumping into the mouth of the Lord. And then everyone, including all grandfather, uncle, brothers, everyone. Arjuna could not see it. He is saying, oh Lord, don't show me the form anymore. I can't hold it. It's so exhaustively very stressful. Please come into your form as Lord Narayana, as 400, and then back to the Supreme Lord, whom I know as my dear friend, as Krishna. So Krishna proves himself as the Supreme Lord. So this is what is all about Krishna proving a point. And Krishna proved he is the Lord of the universe. When he opened the mouth, Mother Yashoda was contemplating. When Balram went and said, Mom, he is eating all sand and mud. He's eating the dirt. Look for yourself. When she saw herself as a reflection of everything which is happening in this entire cosmic manifestation, the Lord could show. But Krishna is very, very conscious that he doesn't want to put his devotees in some kind of peril. So what he does is that he will make sure that everything else is very smoothly contemplated by this Yoga Maya potency. So by internal energy, Krishna just manifests only what is needed for the devotees to accept. Rest things he just leaves it. Okay, now for everyone, I'm going to give you 4 important shlokas as homework. You need to practice this. You need to by heart this. This is called Chatuh Shloki Bhagavad Gita. The 4 shlokas, 10.8, 10.9, 10.10, 10.11. It starts with Aham Sarvasya Prabho. Every one of you have to by heart. This is very, very important. You don't have to show it to me, but if you want to be a truthful practitioner of Bhagavad Gita, please mark it into your diaries. It is mandatory for everyone to. If you don't know the Sanskrit, which is fine, but learn the translations and by heart it. It is extremely important. If you are a practitioner of Bhagavad Gita, if you know that Bhagavad Gita is the one which you want to keep it as a goal of your life, you need to practice this. The 4 are your shlokas are good. If you can do the shlokas, fantastic. But if you can't do the shlokas, that's okay. But at least do the translation, right? These 4 shlokas are the ones which actually dictate who the Supreme Personality of Godhead is and what is his relation with his devotees and how he sees. We see the Lord as in one form, right? And Krishna also sees us as in another form. So how is he seeing us? That is what he is going to show it us in this 4 shlokas. I will read the shlokas and translation for all our benefit. But please practice, and you will have to by heart the translations, and it should be like a strings of pearls in your neck all the time, all your life. For the rest of your life, you need to do this. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattar sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam uda bhava samanvitaha. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. That's the first of 8. 10.9. Machita matkata prana bodhayantastavarasparam kadayantastamam nityam dushyanti jaramanti cha. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully dedicated to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. See, we can see Srila Prabhupada sitting and giving beautiful pastimes about the Supreme Lord. Lord Chaitanya also is there in the photo. So Krishna is always there in the hearts of the pure devotee. As I said previously, we don't understand this science in the books. We understand the science from the practitioners of the books. So that's how we actually grasp the information about what is this wonderful mystical science of Srimad Bhagavad Gita is all about. How these pure devotees are able to meditate on the Supreme Lord all the time. How they are able to get great satisfaction and happiness just by discussing about, enlightening each other about the Supreme Lord's pastimes, Supreme Lord's instructions all the time. That's where you understand this. So this is the second shloka. The third one is more important than the second. Tesham shatata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam tadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayanti te. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give them the understanding by which they can come back to me. Tadami buddhi yogantam means this is buddhi yogam, means Krishna consciousness. Buddhi yogam tam means he the Supreme Lord enables us when we start doing devotional service practically. So this is what Krishna is enabling. You can see Dhruva Maharaj's pastimes here, and many pastimes like this. But meditation is that as you devote yourself in serving the Supreme Lord in the best of your abilities, if you don't have a service, you should ask them. Seek, seek, seek. All you need to ask is, Prabhu, can I do some service? Can I always be engaged in Krishna service? Because devotion service is very, very precious. It's rare. It's unmol. It is not that easy for you to get it. You can get any other service anywhere else. But in terms of, you can say, I'm volunteering for Red Cross Society. I'm volunteering for Blue Cross Society. I'm volunteering for whatever, some XYZ. All this you can do. That's not what is devotional services. It is only you are filling your timesheet. That's all. But to do devotional service is to make sure that Krishna is kept in the center of that activity. That is given directly by the Supreme Lord in these 4 shlokas. That is why it's called Chatuh Shloki, right? So this is what Krishna is giving us. Please accept it, that if Krishna gives that understanding, no one can stop it. It's just going directly into your heart, by which we can go back to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. And the final one is Kesham eva anukampartham aham ajnana jantamaha nashayami atma bhavasto jnana deepena bhashvata. Right? To show them the special mercy, I dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge, so that the darkness born out of ignorance is eradicated from their system. The word ignorance does not exist in the dictionary of the devotees. That is what Krishna is putting themselves in that mode. The same concept he is trying to give it to Arjuna, to bring him from the mode of ignorance to the mode of passion to the mode of goodness. And then he is going to make him sure to work on towards what he wants. So in the same way, Krishna is there seated in our heart, everyone's heart, right? He is just bringing that light. No, that's why we pray, no, Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. By the grace of the Supreme Lord, by the grace of the Supreme Lord's personal representative, the Sri Guru, we are getting that knowledge by which he is just eradicating the darkness with the light of hope for us. And this is what Krishna is actually trying to do it for Arjuna and directly to us through the words coming from these 4 shlokas. So it's mandatory for us to read. Then Arjuna accepts. How do you accept the Supreme Lord as Supreme Lord? Someone has to accept and prove it that I am accepting the Lord. So Arjuna says here, Parabrahma Parandama Pavitram Paramam Bhavam. This is what it is. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages such as Narada, Sita, Devala, and Vyasa have confirmed this about you. And now I personally want to say for sure, you are the Supreme Lord. There is no doubt about it. After seeing your wonderful Virata Rupa, I am very, very convinced. It is not that someone has to tell me that you are the Supreme Lord. I am extremely sorry. I apologize for being so much familiarity based on our friendship. I used to sit on the same bed. I used to talk to you as if I'm a friend of yours. And I was always thinking about you. And I was doing all sorts of nonsense with you. I used to pull your leg by giving some sarcastic comments. I used to speak very harsh words onto you, everything. No, I don't know how to convey that wrong feeling which I have done it on you. Please excuse me. Please pardon me. I accept you as the supreme original, constitutionally original supreme personality of Godhead. By that, Arjuna states that I am accepting you as the Supreme Lord. And that is what I want to say. So then Arjuna says, Arjuna, yes, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestations, but only for those that's only prominent in its nature, because it's limitless. No point telling you the entire thing individually. I will just only give you the glimpse of the entire opulences I contain and carry. So Krishna says, of lights, sun, stars, moon, mountain, Meru, immovable mountains, I am the Himalayas, the water bodies, I am the ocean, of the all the best of trees, I am the banyan, of the greatest of rivers, I am Ganges, of the months, Margashirisha, which is December, of the all the seasons, I wish to say that Vasanta Ritu means, like yesterday was Vasanta Panchami, the spring season is what is my topmost of all. But this is all just by nature. Imagine of anything else. Just by nature, you can see what is me, who are representing me. Of all the great sages, I am Vyasadeva. Of great sages individually, Bhrigu. Of sages among the demigods, Narada Rishi. Of all the great priests, Brihaspati. Of perfect thinkers, I am Kapila. Of the greatest thinkers, Shukracharya. So you can practically see that even in the midst of every living entities and human beings and non-living entities and immovable creatures and items, Krishna is showing his opulence. And among the animals, I am the horse, Uchishrava. Of the lord of elephants, I am Airavata. Of the cows, Surabhi. Of the servants, I am Vasaki. Of the many Naga heads, I am Ananta. Of the fishes, I am Timingala. Of the beast, I am the lion. Of the birds, I am Garuda. So you can see in every single aspect, Krishna is actually showcasing his opulence. Of the senses, I am the powerful mind. Of the living entity's heart, I am the super soul seated. Of the poetries, I am Gayatri. Of the letter, I am Omkara. Its equivalent, Omkara. The compound words, dual compound. Of the sciences, spiritual science. Of the supreme self. Of the logicians, conclusive truth. Of the Samaveda, Brut Sama. Samaveda, as I said, it comes from the flap of Garuda. The wings flap will come there. Of the vibrations, I am transcendental Om, Omkara. Of the sacrifices, I am the holy name, Satata Kirtayam Tomam. The Vedas, of all the Vedas, I am Samaveda. Yagnanam Japos Yagnosmi. That is why we actually meditate on the Supreme Lord through the opulences. Finally, to understand the conclusion of this particular chapter, which constitutes a glimpse of what the Supreme Lord's opulences is, the Lord says, O mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestation. What I have just spoken to you is but just a mere indication of my infinite opulences. Know that all opulent, beautiful, glorious creation springs from but a spark of my splendor. The splendor is very phenomenally powerful. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all these detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I can pervade and support this entire universe. Krishna concludes by this, saying that I don't need to even bother about it. I'll just by like a carom point, right? When you just hit with a carom board with a one strike, I can just make sure all the carom coins go into their pockets. Same way, this is nothing for me. It's just that just because you are my friend, I wanted to showcase you a little more higher knowledge that my opulences, my power should be known to you so that you can dictate that to the entire world. You have seen it, that it's been spoken by great sages like Asita, Devala, Narada, Vyasa, many others. But when you as a Kshatriya, you accept it and boldly tell it to the world, then that becomes the absolute truth. So that is what Krishna wanted to say. So Prabhupada finally says, anyone, an illiterate man or any rich man or any poor man or any man of any country, just by chanting these 16 syllables, anyone can learn by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and chant. Go on chanting. There is no expenditure. Srila Prabhupada wanted to say this. Why? Because the entire thing of all that what we are trying to do is only based on chanting the holy name. If we are able to just simply chant, all the subject matter just goes into your heart whenever it's needed, whatever it's needed to be displayed to you. That is why we give more emphasis to chanting the holy name of the Lord. We stop here with the 10th chapter, the absolute supreme personality of God's greatest opulences shown in glimpse to us. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions? Any reflections? Anyone wants to continue to further our discussions? You're most welcome.
Any questions? If anyone would like to raise or unmute, otherwise we can finish here. So if anyone would like to ask any questions in relation to the 10th chapter of the Gita, please ask.
Was it too fast?
I think it's just quite comprehensive, Prabhu.
Yeah, okay.
I think
Prabhu, I've got one. You know, when you said about the Chatuh Shloka Gita, the 10.8, 10.9, 10.10, 10.11.
Correct.
Is it like a summary of the whole Gita if we chant these four shlokas? What is the significance of these four as compared to the others?
Read the translation. I already mentioned that in the translations. Krishna's interaction with his devotees, what Krishna feels if you put yourself in Krishna's side, right? We are sitting in the other side. Let's say, for example, you go and approach a reception desk, right? There is a view from your side to the other side, but there is also a view from their side to our side, right? So in that manner, Krishna is, when you put yourself in the side where Krishna is, how does he react, or how does he look at from the devotee side, right? How does he look at a devotee? That is one way of looking at things. And also Krishna explains this. Tesham shatatayuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. You need to know, like, how can Krishna enable us to go back to the Lord's lotus feet? Because we can't do it ourselves. We know that we are entangled completely, right? We have all been tied very badly with the three modes of material nature. We can't just release off. We can only release off with someone who is not tied it. That's why the spiritual master plays a very important role. He comes, he unties all things, right? Then it becomes automatically very easy for us to go back and serve the lotus feet of the Lord. And then he says, Machita Matkada Prana Bodhayanta Saparasparam, right? So the many things which he has explained, but fundamentally it is the relation which Krishna wants to tell it to the world, that how he feels about his devotees. And also he wants to say that Aham Sarvasya Prabhu, I am the Lord, I am the Lord of the Lords. No one can come and tell me that you are not the Lord, I am the Lord. So he wants to make it very clean and clear that every living entity is under the lotus feet of the Lord at any given point of time. Even though the Lord created three types of living entities. The first type of living entities is called the Nitya Siddhas. The living entities which are eternally, constitutionally, always present in the spiritual realm. They don't come here at all to this material world, right? They are called Nitya Siddhas. They are all Suris, called Divya Suris. You can read, Prabhupada explains in the preface and translations and the introductions. So he says this, they are called the Divya Suris. So they belong to the Supreme Lord's area, the zone, the spiritual realm. They don't come here to this world at all. They are all great, exalted. Those who come there, from there to here, are the spiritual masters, because they are all the ones who are pure devotees and they are always eternally connected. But they are coming here for an errand. Is that correct? Errand is the right word, right? For some work. So they come here for some work. What is the work? To make sure that all the fallen conditioned souls are put in a bucket and presented to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. That's why they come here. So they are the first level of people who the Lord creates, because they are all the time meditating, glorifying the Supreme Lord, right? Aham sarvasya prabhava matta sarvam pravatete iti matpavadante mam buddhava samanitaha. Then he goes to the next level, right? And second level of people is Nitya Baddhas, like all of us, right? We have potentially, practically speaking, we have never gone to the spiritual world. We have attempted it, but nothing has happened till date. Why? Because every time and again, we have tried our level's best to connect with the Supreme Lord, but somewhere on the middle range, we have got derailed. Why? Because either we don't have a right spiritual master, or we don't have the right mentality or a humble nature in our systems, or we have got cheated many times. So there are Nitya Siddhas, there are Nitya Baddhas. These are the two main categories. There is another one which the Lord actually creates only for his personal interactions. Like he can't come and talk to you and say hello directly. Yes, of course he can do that. It's not that he can't do it. He can do that. But still, he would want to interact with some devotees whom he feels is the most dearest, like Arjuna. They belong to the same category of Nitya Siddhas, but they are more dearer. Like Arjunas, the Panja Pandavas, or some of the devotees who created by like Narada Rishi. He can go anytime and go and sit with Krishna and take prasadam, or he can talk about it. He can sort it out many things. He can probably sort out, Krishna, you're not doing it right. You better do this one for this place, right? He can do that. You and I can go and talk like this. So this is the key factor of how we can connect with the Supreme Lord all the time. So this is what is the 4 shlokis are talking about. So go deeper, understand the translation, understand the purport. Come back tomorrow. If you have a doubt, let's discuss.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, we've got one question in the chat. From Vivian Mataji, she's saying, please Prabhu, when can one have a spiritual master?
When you are ready to accept the spiritual master's guidance, you are ready. Why should you wait for it? Not that it is going to be waited. You waited, you are at loss, because we are at a loss. We don't have timelines. Time is running like as if it's no man's business. Time and tide waits for none. So why should you wait? You should just grab with two hands. This is what is. I need a spiritual one. I need a guider. You need even if you do a PhD or even you do any other subject matter, you need a guide. That guide personality is the one whom you connect with and understand how to handle the situations. So the Supreme Lord has enabled you to get a guide, and you should grab it with two hands. That is what spiritual knowledge about is. All this talking is about to get to that knowledge, that connect with the Supreme Lord through his Supreme. What is it getting? I think two devices in the same place. If there is two devices connected at the same place, then echo happens. I have single device per person.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Right. So this is
So,
what the spiritual master has to be seeked of. And spiritual master also will connect with you because he knows. So please connect. That's important. Don't wait. Not a good practice. You will probably lose your time and lose your stuff. So seek, connect. First spiritual master for all of us is taking the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. He is our constitutionally, he is the supreme spiritual master for all the devotees of ISKCON. He is the foundational Shiksha Guru. He is the one who is guiding us in the proper method to connect with the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. First you connect with Srila Prabhupada, and automatically Srila Prabhupada will connect you to the right spiritual master who is in flesh and blood. Okay, that answers, I hope.
Hare
Vivian
Krishna.
Mataji, does that, wait, before we move on, Vivian Mataji, does that answer your question? If you want to give a thumbs up or
Okay, we'll go to the next question. She can give
Sure.
the thumbs up, thumbs down later also, no problem.
Yes, we move.
We'll
Okay,
have to keep
Sauli
going.
Mataji had a question.
Oh, she
and then we
said
can
some
go to
hand. She
Jasmine.
said raised a hand, so that means good. Or she wants to ask some question. Okay, Sola Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, I'm fine, thank you.
That's Vivian Mataji. Okay, happy, excellent,
Thank you.
good.
Excellent.
Okay, Sauli Mataji and then Jez Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you for the class. Prabhu, I wanted to ask, so we are, did you say we are Nitya Bhattas, right? So like does
Nitya what?
the second class of the
Okay.
souls, so like that, does it mean, I just wanted to understand, does it
Nitya
mean that
Baddas. Baddas means someone who is like a
Badda?
Badda, yes.
Badda.
It's like eternally goofed up people.
I was
That is what
I was
it is.
writing about the Nitya Bhattas. So like you said that first class Nitya Siddhas, they're eternally in the spiritual realm.
Yes.
But I thought before, like we were there and then we fall down. So like where do we come from then?
We have never come from anywhere. Krishna has created us to be in this material world. That's all it is. It's a big question. Prabhupada always says that we should not bother about why and where and how we were. Now is a chance for us to go back. Let's work it out towards that. If you start inquiring about why we are, where were we, why did we come here? And of course, it's a good question to ask, and it's a big debate. It's $1 million question, whether you are in the spiritual world or you are in the material world. These are questions which is just a time waster, right? It says that, you can ask, these are questions which is going to time waste you, because you're going to go wrangling. You're going to go on and ask, in this scripture it said this, in scriptures that said, and then it is in sometimes, because it is like it's in one of the books, there is some very controversial books which are written on all these things. I will share the document about what ISKCON's GBC has come out with, a white paper on the living entity's constitutional position is. I will share it with Prathamaya Prabhu, and he will share it with all of you. You can read that. I would want to give a very positive info on that part, because otherwise there is some statements in the scriptures. It says that Not a blade of grass can shake or fall from the spiritual realm to here. So many things like that have been spoken, and there is a lot of the theory and a lot of pros and cons in the internet. Don't get wasting on your time on this subject matter. So I will give you a paper. Please, I will share it with Pratap Mahaprabhu. Pratap Mahaprabhu can share it with all of them who wants to know what is our constitutional position as a spirit soul and our constitutional entity relationship with the Supreme Lord. Okay.
Prabhu, like when we say that we go back home, does it mean that we are from there?
Back home is obviously means you are from there.
So
But that doesn't mean that the home should be there. This is also your home only, no? You're also here in the same
our
place.
home,
Krishna belongs.
our home's not here. It's
Home means
Mhm.
a place where you reside, right? Is this place minus Krishna? This also belongs to Krishna only, no? This material realm also belongs to Krishna. So it is also home. Krishna owns the entire cosmic manifestation. He is the one who created it, right? When we say Prabhupada, when Prabhupada said going back to home, back to Godhead, is practically speaking that we go. But it is like it's not related to this particular chapter. Let me explain it to you. But we are talking about a subject matter of opulence of the absolute. Then we need to focus on that. But this question of yours needs complete detailed dissection of how a living entity existed, how a living entity has come into being, and where the living entity failed. This is explained in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and you need to deep dive it. You come out with that one, read the first canto, come back to me, and I will answer you all these questions.
Fourth or first?
First canto, Srimad Bhagavatam.
First.
First canto. End to end you read, and you come back to me, I will explain it to you. What is your constitutional position, or why, whether going back to home is here or going back to home is somewhere else. It's like an active state to an inactive state. That much data I can give you. All right.
I got more questions.
When you are active, when you are active, you are active. When you are inactive, that means that you are not active.
Yeah.
In the same way, when you are in the spiritual realm, you are represented by here. Moment you become inactive here, you become active there. That's all it is.
I'm not sure if I understood, but I will try.
It takes double PhD for a person to understand this, because it's not a single PhD holders can hold this. It's very complex subject matter, right?
Yeah, I was just wondering why we say go back home. Then it means this place is not our home. Then.
You write a theory. You write a white paper. I will validate it and say whether your speculation is correct or not. I have anyway conveyed it to you, but read first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, come back, and then I will answer it to you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. It's not that I won't answer you. I'll definitely answer you, because for which you need to know the fundamentals. If you clear the fundamentals, then that becomes easy for me to explain it. Otherwise, we will toss from left to center to right to center. That's difficult for us. Okay. Okay. Prabhuji, is there any other questions? Otherwise, can
yes,
we?
Prabhu,
Oh, sorry. Yes, Prabhu. Sorry. Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, my question is two parts. One, what if we're at the point of death and we're dying and we're like 94 or 95 or 98 or whatever, but we're near death and we're too sick to chant? You know, we can't, you know, it's hard to really put my mind at the point of death. But if we're actually there where we know nobody wants to be there because we're internally the soul and we're young and full of bliss. But at one point, we are going to be 90 years old or 91, and death is going to be at our, you know, it's going to be very close. So at that point of death, if I'm too sick or too weak, a lot of people get very sick when they're dead, when they're close to death. I'm sorry to be dark, but this is the reality of the situation. Perfect. What if I'm too, what do I get my beads and I just chant on my deathbed and I just say, please, Krishna, take me home, take me home. How does it work exactly?
Phil Collins will not help you. You got it?
Sorry?
I said Phil Collins will not help you.
Well,
you said take me home, right?
Anyway.
You said take me home, right? He has sang a song, right?
Yes, yes.
So that will not help you. Harir Nama, Harir Nama, Harir Namai Kevalam. There is no other choice. We have to do. We have to do our job, Prabhu. What will Prabhupada think? Whether you are living for 104 years or 90 years or 9,000 years, we still are simply the servants of Srila Prabhupada. We should still do our seva, which is being told to us. What is the seva? Harir Nama, Harir Nama, Harir Namai Kevalam. Simply chant. The more we chant, more better for us. Unfortunately or fortunately, we may not be in that good conducive mentality or in that kind of a situation where we can chant with all the effort and energy. So not to worry about it. So what is Krishna saying, trying to say this, is there is a pastime related to this. There is a beautiful deity of Lord Varadaraja, the king of boon giver. Right? It's a place in South India which is called Kanchipuram. It is one of the oldest city on the entire cosmos. Right? So this particular place has a very special area. And in that special area, the Lord was interacting with one of his devotees. And the same question as you asked, the Lord, the devotee asked the Lord. The question was almost similar to it. And he said that, you know that I am getting old. The devotee is asking the Lord directly, you know, I'm getting old. I may not survive for long, but I don't think I'll be able to remember you at all, because now itself my body is so weak and very fragile. And what kind of thoughts will I come into my system when I want to contemplate on you? But I've done my services to my best of abilities, but I don't think that's enough for me to overcome all these difficulties to come back to your lotus feet. I may probably get once again being pushed into this kind of material realm of birth, death, old age, and disease. This is what the question the devotee asked the Lord. The Lord answered back and saying that, if you are not able to think of me, it's not your problem. It is my problem. I need to think of you. So I will make sure that I think of you. So that's the promise the Supreme Lord has given us. Right? So
what if I chant 16 rounds for 10 years and then I think I can't do this anymore? It's just too much. It's too strong.
It happens to everyone, many of them. It does happen. If you chant for 16, if you chant 10 rounds, 16 rounds for say 10 years, and the 11th year you say, I want to take a break. Krishna will also say, take a break and come back here. Krishna will not say that, okay, that's all right, you did the job. But there is no loss or diminution in this process. Whatever you have done, you will always, Krishna will store for you.
So it takes complete determination to the end of one's life to attain.
It's the question of life. It's a question of your life. It's a question of intention, what you want to show it to the Supreme Lord.
My mind is, of course, I'm attracted. It's a beautiful philosophy, but there's, as you said, there's another energy that's coming into my system that's saying, go out, enjoy. You've only got one life. Those two energies are like,
there is only one
competing.
energy. The second energy is not the energy. It's the energy, what you call, is between two eyebrows. See how you can crack this out.
It takes a lot of mind strength to do that.
No, you need intelligence to deal the mind, not the mind strength. Please be very, very precise about what you talk and what you do. You always meditate, remember this thing. There are 5 senses, which are the horses. There is the reins, which is the mind. There is a personality who is holding, which is the driver, which is the intelligence. The soul is seated as a passenger. The entire system of chariot is your body. So dictation should come not from your eyebrows. It should come from your heart. Whatever the super soul is dictating to the supreme soul, dictating to the soul, take it as intelligence and start working on it. Don't think about the second energy. There is only one energy. And that energy is how you can serve the Supreme Lord with all your best abilities. Beyond that, it's not in our hands. There are many things in the world which is not in our hands, but be very precise with what you talk. Be very precise with what you attempt for.
My second question is, if there's lots of devotees all dancing around in the spiritual world, can't they communicate with us on some level?
Why do you want them to communicate to you? What are you going to do by that?
I just wondered why that.
What's the big deal about they communicating it to you? They'll say, hello, how are you, mate? Are you all right? Are they going to say that? No.
Well, I'm just thinking,
They are already communicated, Prabhu. They are communicating through books of Prabhupada. The pure devotee who is there with us is not from this world. He is from the spiritual realm. He came here, he dedicated everything, his life and blood and soul and everything.
So if we do get to the spiritual world, Sri Prabhupada will be able to meet him in person.
What do you think? What do you think we are trying to do? Prabhupada said that he has got the backdoor keys for the spiritual house. Krishna's house is there. We will have ISKCON in spiritual world. Don't worry about it. So he said that he's got the backdoor key of the Krishna's house. No one else, none of the acharyas have told that. I'm not lying. I'm not lying. This is what Prabhupada said. Yes, Prabhu. Go ahead.
Can I want one advice, one tip that we can all start doing if we're not, is hear one Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada lecture per day.
Yes.
And then you will experience that presence and the personality and those instructions in every day, in our everyday lives like that. So we are still very much connected to Srila Prabhupada in many ways.
Correct.
And one of the most powerful is through the Vani, the instructions, which are with us as long as those recordings are manifest on this earth. So please take advantage of that and hear one lecture of Srila Prabhupada minimum, if you can, every day. Or you can start one a week and then you can scale up, because the more you hear, the more you connect to Prabhupada, the more
you get convinced.
benefit.
Yeah.
Sorry for my they're quite strong questions. I do apologize, but
No,
they
it's
have
good
to
for
be
you to
asked.
ask these questions, because you need a forum to ask these questions. So I'm here to answer your questions if I can. Otherwise,
They're
I will
they're
probably
quite
say,
hard.
I don't know the answer, I'll get back to you. That's all I can say. Because yata matir yata dinam, right? Whatever consciously, whatever I'm answering is not given to me. I'm not a person who is writing down the notes and then trying to give you the answers. Whatever practice I have done, whatever Prabhupada is enabling on me and to my system, I'm just repeating from the Lord's grace. That's all.
Because these are the kind of questions materialists will ask as well. They won't mess
probably
around.
ask you can probably ask, repeat back the answers what you have received from us. Most welcome. All right. Okay.
Thank
Prabhu?
you for answering me so nicely.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu. Is there anything else, Prabhu? Are we done otherwise for the
I think
day?
that's it for today. If there's one last question, if anyone would like to ask, feel free. Otherwise, we'll conclude there.
Great. So I request you all to please put these 4 slokas, 10.8, 10.9, 10.10, 10.11. These 4
I've done
slokas
16 rounds today as well. So
okay, that's great. Thumbs up. Okay, for the time being, 4 slokas, please put it into your daily routine. Please read the translation, by heart it, say it daily. It will really help you to meditate on the Supreme Lord and become closer to the Lord. Right? These are Chatuh Shlokis. I expect you all to do it because that's your homework. I can't eat the food for you. You need to eat your food. And I can't take your pain onto me. You have your pain, you handle it. All right. Thank you all. See you all tomorrow, 7 o'clock, same time. Tomorrow, on to the 11th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Jai.
Bhagavad Gita ki.
Jai.
Jai. Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna Gauranga Prabhu ki Jai.
Jai Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhu, for this
Have any
class. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna. See you tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
See you, Hare Krishna.